Hi, I'm Luke Chervell. Welcome to another episode of Meet the Gaffer. Well, it's time for travel talk, and today's topic is a healthy routine. So I think it's pretty obvious that the type of work we do is not at all conducive to other people's schedules. You know, we've got schedules, we're on a schedule, but our schedule is constantly changing. So our hours when we work are often changing. The times when we have meals is often changing. When we get to sleep, all these things are constantly in flux, especially when you're starting out and you're just taking any kind of work, or you start working on an episodic or a feature, you're doing music videos. I mean, just the hours, the elasticity of your time and your energy is just like all over the place. So I'm an old fart now. I work on corporate videos. I have a pretty structured life, all told. But still, it doesn't really fit necessarily that well into other people's schedules. So it's something that's difficult often to have a good, healthy routine for yourself, let alone how that fits with others. Yeah. And that affects your physical, mental, relationship fitness. It just does. And if you're young and single, hey, this is a great business. If you have a significant other, you start feeling how disruptive this business is. If you have a family, kids, well, they all want schedules. And your schedule is constantly in flux. So that is often a difficulty. So for you to have a healthy routine can be problematic. Now, I think people tend to be healthier these days than I remember. I don't know. I had no problem just eating, drinking, whatever, whenever for a long, long time. And I did not have healthy habits. So as I got older, I started to pay for that a little bit, because at a certain point, your metabolism changes and the stuff you take in stays in and starts literally hanging off of you. So, and that extra poundage, puts pressure on your lower back, on your knees. You're lifting stuff, you're jumping off gates, you're doing all those things. At a certain point, you find that you're just not as young and spry as you used to be. I guess the point of this all is, word to the wise, start the good habits sooner than I did. Because now I'm playing catch up. I've got to go on a diet, or change the way I think about food, the way I think about exercise, everything, just to get back to sort of normal. And yeah, it's not like I'm grossly overweight or anything like that, but it affects everything. And as your joints get a little crankier, any extra weight affects that. So here's the overshare part. I have a routine in the morning that I've had for quite a few years. Before I'm going to leave, I always give myself an hour. I break it up in 15-minute chunks. Wake up, just take the time to wake up. If I got to check the phone, whatever, but that's a sinkhole, so I try to limit that. And then 15 minutes of stretching, and I have a whole routine for that. And then 15 minutes shower and dress, and this is a bumpy road right here. And then 15 minutes of getting a breakfast and getting ready to leave. So that's my hour. And then typically to get to work is, an hour and a half in the Bay Area. I live on the peninsula, so I kind of live in a little bubble, in the sense that it's a little easier because I'm often going cross commute, but yeah, it's just kind of bad all over, because there's plenty of work here and plenty of people, and so there's plenty of traffic. Then it's this food thing, and we have crafty at work often. Smaller jobs, sometimes that's forgotten. I love this one. Come having had. That's kind of like been around for a while now, but it's just sort of this concept that you'll come having had your breakfast. And that's all well and good, but if you got a really early call, that means you have to get up that much earlier, make yourself a little breakfast. Well, now I've incorporated that into my morning. So that 15 minutes, I get that, granola, fruit, and yogurt, so that if there is nothing at work or I don't have time and I get to location and I'm just at the call time or whatever and I gotta get going, I don't have to worry about it. Another thing I've started now is, which is sort of a greener thing too, is to bring a water bottle. And that way I'm not relying on plastic water bottles, and if they're not being provided anyway because the production is trying to be greener, then it's just good to have your own container that sticks with you. And just hydrating, always a good thing. So I'm not a gym person. I've tried it. I've signed up. I've done it for a little while, and then I thought, like, okay, I just do this at home. So then a stationary bike. Yeah, I did that for a few months, and I just didn't stick with it. Our work is physical. It's not aerobic, and so that's not so good. But then as you get older, then supposedly your muscle mass shrinks, and so you need to do something physical to keep your strength up. I haven't really found that thing yet. And then I have sort of a weaker ankle. It's just not quite getting back to full strength. It's not like I can't walk, so that's what I do. I walk. Then you get your steps in. And so yeah, now the latest thing, and this has just been going for a week, but I signed up for that Noom thing, Noom. I actually love it. I'm in the romance phase right now. I appreciate all the little hints, all the little tips, all the little nudges to keep you on task. And the main thing is you check your weight in the morning, you keep track of your calories throughout the day, and then you slowly change your mindset on how you think about food, how the triggers, the social triggers, the environmental triggers that get you to eat when you really don't need it. Those kinds of things. You become mindful of that. So yeah, I'm having fun right now. This is the rose-colored glasses period of this process, but I'm having fun, losing weight. And we'll see where it goes. The trick is keeping it off, maintaining it. But that's because I'm an old fart, and I need this help to get me back to square one. If you're already at your fighting weight, so to speak, and you feel good about your life physically and all that, I would make notes. Just consider the routine and how to make it as healthy as possible, incorporating all the crazy changes that we have in our business. So that's what I got. Hey, thanks for watching. We'll see you again next time. In the heat of the moment, you'll do a stretch, and all of a sudden you've got a shoulder pull, you've got a lower back strain, you've got a knee thing, you've got an ankle thing. When you're young, you don't want to hear about that, but just letting you know, it's a thing. And you can live on coffee and Red Bulls for many years, but it's not necessarily going to put you in a good place further down the road. If you have good routines already in place, that transition is going to be a lot easier.